Hello everyone and welcome to Radio Silent Play Trading. Let me start off by just giving you a brief disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. Anything that I say or mention is for educational purposes only. I may or may not hold some of the stocks that I mentioned. Please remember to do your own research before trading any stock or options. Trading stocks and options require lots of risk. So I'm doing this video because it's one of the most requested videos talking about how to enter a stock and a bit of a strategy. I'm going to kind of do it very quick. Okay, but before we start that, just like and share and also hit that push notification so you get this information before the crowd. Okay, the more likes we get, the more videos we're going to make. Okay, so the rule of three. Whenever I'm looking to buy a stock, what I want to do is I want to have a plan. You can never trade without a plan. So it's basically three simple rules. When I buy a stock, I want to create a buy zone at or near my prospective floor. Okay, and what does that mean? If I'm buying, I want to be part of this smart money. You see this stealth phase? I want to start buying somewhere around this level, right? Because it's the start or the inception of a big move. A lot of people don't like to buy at or near floors. They like to buy when the stock starts getting enthusiasm, media attention, greed, and what they tend to do is they tend to hold and then the stock rolls over. So there's a way to kind of get out of a scenario like this, and I just want to go over it. So if I'm looking to buy a stock, I want to create a buy zone at or near a prospective floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the chart. I'm going to figure out where the floor is near. Okay, it's an estimated guess. You can look at pivot lows, connect lines of symmetry. If you look over here on this stock, ticker symbol IGEN, it put in its floor at 0.005. It rallied and then pulled back and then created a higher low. So now the stock is reversing and now you're starting to see a potential rally and a break into a new trend. Okay, so that's important. So we were adding near the stealth phase. Okay, a lot of traders don't like to do that. And then when I'm buying the stock, what I want to do is rule number 2, scale into that prospective floor. What I don't want to do is go all in. Okay, and why do I say that? Because sometimes you're not going to be able to get the price that you want. You may buy a little bit higher. You may get a starter. I like to use a 3-bullet system. And a 3-bullet system is basically, I'm going to break it down into 3. All right, 3 buys. My first bullet, I'm going to name it the starter. The second bullet, I'm going to name it the pullback. And the third bullet, I'm going to name it the last entry. Does it have to be specific like that? No, it doesn't. Okay, you can nibble, you can buy several times. But what you want to do is you want to buy in that buy zone because your objective is rule number 3. Immediately sell your sell orders up to your personal profit margin. So that's the buy, set, and forget mentality. Okay, so what do I mean by that? What you do is you're buying your position, and immediately upon buying, what you're going to do is you're going to set your sell orders to your PPM. That personal profit margin, right? That's the abbreviation for personal profit margin. You're going to keep to yourself. You're not going to give it to anybody. Okay, that's going to be personal. It's basically like you playing a round of poker. You're not going to show the other players your hand, right? So it's basically the same thing. What you don't want to do is buy everything and then sell it all on the ask. And why? Because what you're going to do is you're going to stifle that trade. You're going to block or put a huge amount of shares. Then you disrupt the supply and demand chain. So what you want to do is you want to sell all the way up. Give you an example. If I really have conviction on the stock and I think that the stock is going to go up 200%, then I'm going to sell up to that 200%. I may sell some at 33%. I may sell some at 44, 55, and so on, all the way up to 200%. It doesn't matter if they charge me a broker's fee, right? Because you're still going to make a good amount of money. And we've seen with the plays that we've traded before, we see how high these stocks go. So scenario number 1, okay, that can happen because there's only 2 outcomes. You sell several lots up to your PPM, meaning you're locking profits. Now, scenario number 2, the stock closes below your prospective floor on 2 consecutive closes, And that's a confirmation to exit the trade because now the stock has lost that support. And that's equivalent to a burning building. If you go into a building, right, and you know that the strongest structural floor on that building is, let's say, the 9th floor, and you're up on the 13th floor, now there's a fire, and now it hits that 9th floor, are you going to stick around? No, you're not, because you know that that floor, the strongest structural floor in that building, has been breached. So that's the concept that I want you to understand. So what we like to do is we like to add during the stealth phase, you're locking when you start seeing the stock move up, right? And then if a stock pulls back a little bit, which a stock is a little bit volatility, right? You have waves, then you add a little bit more. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we're buying at the stealth phase. It starts taking off. It hits 100% and then pulls back. It gives a bear trap. You can buy some more. And how do I do that? What I do is I use the just-in-case strategy. So now the just-in-case strategy, what I do is I enter my trade, I scale out to my PPM, but I leave 20 to 30, 50% of shares. I use 20% here just to let you know, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to lock everything and then all of a sudden the stock hits a high of 8 cents from this level of 2.5 cents, because you're losing all that. So you want to keep 20, 30% of your skin in the game, right? And when that stock pulls back, right, let's say I'm rallying, it hits all the way up to 100% away from the 8-day moving average, I look for a pullback, for that kiss. Now it kisses, and now I look how much I made on the trade. Let's say I made $10,000 on the trade. Then I take 20% of that $10,000, which is $2,000, and I'll add again here. And I'll ride it, as long as it's threading that 8-day moving average, and then I'll sell up when it rallies up to over 100%. Okay, so this is what I call just in case. So you sell the remaining shares when the stock goes up to 100% or over the 8-day moving average, using that as a gauge, and then you re-enter using a 20%, 30%, as long as you're not adding all your money, because what if the stock announces bad news and then you lose everything? You don't want to do that. You want slow mathematical growth. So you re-enter with a 20% to 30% of your previous gains at or near the 8-day moving average, and you rinse and repeat the trade, because now what's happening is you're getting accustomed to that trade. So now if that stock hits a high of 8 cents and you add it again at the 8-day moving average, but now it starts to roll over, you're already locking here, because now the stock is plummeting. Okay, so that I'm doing it very, very quickly. So take a look at this trade, because I noticed that a lot of people have a hard time doing this. Stock gets, we bring awareness around that 0.005 to 0.006. We know 8-day moving average cross is coming, right here. And nobody wants to buy during this level. Why? Because they see that a stock is in a downtrend. That's when I like buying stocks. I like buying stocks when they confirm bottom. So we noticed that there was a floor here. So we started buying at this range. I think the lowest that this stock hit was 0.0054. And then we noticed that an 8-day moving average cross was coming. So we added, and now the stock is reversing to 0.008. The likelihood, or the balance of probability here, leans to not moving below this blue line, because it's never done that yet. So we have to understand that. Okay, so now if I look here, now we'll see why we like this. It kissed the 51, right here on August 17th, and then it started consolidating, higher lows. Then we saw the 8 into 21 approaching. So we were able to add between 0.0055, which was the lowest, to about 60, right? And now the stock is closing bullish with a market high of 0.008. Now it breaks above the 200-day moving average. Now it's starting to go back into an uptrend. And if you look here, a bullish divergence. If I see here, stocks are like vacations. They usually go back 0.0243. And the beauty of this stock is that it's in the now, right? So this is a stock that's artificial intelligence, sold on Amazon, and we just got news that they're doing Hyundai, 50% of their vehicles, they're controlling, or they have their product in there. They're getting compensated for that, up to $100 per unit. We also have car shortages, and now we're finding out that Nissan also has this product in their vehicle. Okay, so now if I come here, I want to look at this chart here. Let me show you this chart. If I look at this weekly chart, this is showing me a line of symmetry. When the stock is sent out during the 0.005 range, a lot of you guys want to see who's in it. And that's the problem that hurts you guys. Because if you guys don't see anything, you guys won't buy. So that stealth phase is the time where you can make your most money. Because look, it tested, never broke, added 50 to 60, and now it's trading at that 80 level. Now take a look at, if it breaks above 0.02, you hit a high of 326, and this is a stock that used to trade up to 9 cents. And this is an 8 into 21 day cross here on the weekly, and this is really bullish. If you look at this MACD, it's showing you positive divergence, black line into purple line, a negative to positive histogram, and this is a long term, right? So think about it. Come November, December, January, do you expect this stock to be at these levels, especially if we have an inflation rally? I don't think so. Since, I'm going to say, July of this year, it's been stable and it's never really closed below 50. So that's showing you a pattern, and it's always tested 0.02. So this gives you a balance of probability, and then you can use this just in case scenario. You don't have to sell all your shares, and if it pulls back, you add to that 8-day moving average. And now let's look at that chart right now. If you look at the 8-day moving average, the 8-day moving average is starting to curl up. That's a bullish indicator. Okay? So now I'm going to go over ticker symbol RJDG. Same thing. Bottom is in at 0.008, stealth phase. You closed above the 8-day moving average. The stock went from 0.008 and it hit a high of about 0.0125, and then it closed above this line break here at 11. So now it's telling you we're breaking a downtrend, right? We're breaking a downtrend. If I come over here and I want to look at the weekly chart, it's showing you the same thing. Take a look, 8 into 21-day moving average, MACD from negative to positive, and then let's take a look at here so you guys can see this. So you guys see that I'm not making this up. Low, lower low, right? But now look, this is a lower low, higher low, higher low, higher low, bullish. It's in an uptrend. So this will probably start creeping up and retest this 0.028 again. Low, higher high, and a higher high expected. So I expect a 1.8% extension on this to about 3 to 4 cents. And why do we like this? Why do we like this? Because I know it's small, but on their last 10Q, they're bringing in 3.8 million in assets, revenues. If you look here, they just created a Twitter account, so they're very active. We are happy to announce that we have engaged the services of Miss Preya Narain. And she's famous because she's a pretty good trader, so she understands how this thing works the best. As head of corporate communication, please direct all inquiries to Preya, RJDGgreen.com. Preya, RJDG. And if I come over here, welcome to the official Twitter account for OTC RJDG. And they just updated this, September 10th, 2021, 11 a.m. So you're in before the crowd. And then today they put out an announcement that their recent acquisition just announced a contract. Announced that their subsidiary, IOSoft Inc., received an initial contract for their recently acquired medical logistics and data storage software. So this is good for the telehealth industry and the medical industry. You could start seeing blockchain involved too. Right? So these are the type of stocks right now. And I've sent these stocks out to you. The issue is that you guys tend to not understand why we're buying this or setting up these stocks. And what you do is you wait too long to start accumulating, and then you start buying at a higher price. Take a look. Next stock, XTRM. This is a stock right now that is putting in its floor at 0.004, had an 8 into 21-day moving average, lows of 43, haven't retested higher lows, and now you're starting to see the stock start putting in its reversal. A break above 6.1, and then we break above this 0.009 level, you have upside to 0.016. Now, if I go on the weekly chart, let's look at it. Again, same thing. Okay, what do we expect October, November? Real estate is hot, right? Low, higher low, higher low. Okay, you break above this 0.006 level, you have upside to 0.034. And why do we like this? Why do we like this right now? Because if we come over here, take a look at this trend on the weekly chart. Every time it hits this level, you have a bounce. This is a line of symmetry. Massive uptrend. MACD from negative to positive. Negative to positive. Now, if I go on Twitter, okay, if I go on Twitter, take a look at this, because this is the thing that people are not seeing. I'm going to come over here. Give me a second. They just announced news today. I'm going to go XTRM, Extreme Biodiesel. Take a look. We know real estate is very, very hot. Take a look at their last post. Some of our homes are very close to completion. XTRM. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 houses. If you look, this is in Boise, Idaho. Massive people moving out there. So it's a high price. If you average each house, right? Estimated, let's say they make 200,000 off the sell. 2, 4, 6, 8. You're talking about close to $1 million, right? And I'm just giving you numbers. So this is a revenue producing company. And if you come over here, take a look at this post. Updates are coming, XTRM, and this was posted August 31st. Okay? So just watch out for a press release. Right now, we want to find catalyst, right? We want to find catalyst. So we're going to go to otcmarkets.com. We're going to type in XTRM. We want to make sure that it has a favorable share structure, paying current. Yep, 1.3 million. That's not a lot, right? A low flow. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look at their last press release, right? And it states, Extreme Biodiesel progress and growth has never been better. Okay, so this is the revenue that they're bringing in, 6.7 to 2.9 million. So they're up 115%. North Star Homes. And if you come here, I click on here. This is North Star Homes. So you guys know that they're viable, that they're real. And this is their website for their real estate. And then I come over here, I click on Idaho Real Estate, and this is their Idaho real estate for their Idaho homes. Okay, and now if I read here, this is your catalyst right here. Also, we are very excited to be moving forward with the company name change, a company stock symbol change, and have begun the process for the corporate action with FINRA. We continue to make this priority, although we have had some delays. One delay has simply been that we are very busy planning and operating business while it's growing at an unprecedented pace. So why do I like all these? Because we're seeing upside. And what are we doing, guys? We're buying, we're using a plan, rule of 3, and we're actually buying during a stealth phase. And I guarantee you October, November, these prices are going to be trading much higher. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Just remember, look at the description box. There's a lot of tools in the description box. If you need help, there's an SMS service there. You can type it in and set it up. There's a telephone number for community there. There's also a Patreon, which I made very, very cheap. I haven't raised prices, but I eventually will. And then we have a Discord channel if you want to add. Just send me a DM on Twitter, and then we have a Webull there. I will be starting to post some small caps, but I'm just waiting for the market to kind of stabilize for now. With that said, take care, everyone.